if all the electronic gods will
It will.
kick in here. It's not showing up over here yet. There we go. Yeah. Okay, hello and welcome everybody. I was nice to be back and see everybody. I miss all the faces. I'm loving all the interaction of everybody asking the questions and everything. It's getting good. We're trying to keep everything going. We have a few announcements. A couple big things are getting ready to start. There's two different things going on right now that we're getting ready to jump in with. We are going to start, most of you know, I've been having surgery and therapy every day. So I got a therapy schedule that I'm hoping I can still work in some coaching time. So I'm ready because I have had my surgery and on the meds and my eating schedule's all out of whack and I'm a hot mess. So I'm going to start a beginner group for anybody that's wanting the beginner to start clear back at the beginning. Let's get our chemistry established. Let's get the habits going again. Let's get chronometer hooked up. Let's get Keto Mojo up and working. I'm going to be starting there because I can't take the meds without eating, and I just need to quit making excuses for myself, eat the best I can, and still keep going. So I'm going to start a beginner group and an advanced group. If you're in the advanced part, we can push you back through. But the other thing that's getting ready to go, Jean is actually going to be a coach. drboz is doing her 21-day kickoff again, the metabolic kick. This is, if you're ready to go nice and fast and hit the floor running, the 21-day thing is going to be the program you want to join. I'll put the link over here. I'll have Lance post it in the chat and we can, here, copy. There we go. Put that over there. The 21-day one, if you're ready to hit the floor run, then it is 21 days of intense work. It's working on your chemistry. It is getting you in chronometer. It is getting you into sardines. It is getting you into accountability for 21 days straight. It's intense. It's wonderful. It's great. I am personally just not ready to run that fast right now. So I'm bowing out this time of coaching it. I am not coaching it, but Jean is. And there's amazing coaches on there. So I'm not saying it's not because I don't want to do it. It's because I know my body and I'm not ready to do it. My body is not okay. I'm still healing. I'm still taking medications. My body fights me every step of the way. So I'm going to do the slow and steady. So if you want the slow and steady version, you can go to our website and jump in with me in the beginner level or the advanced level. And we're just going to take it nice and slow and steady. No jumping and running this time. If you're ready to jump and run, the 21-day kick, she calls it 21-day metabolic kick, but it's the 21-day kick your butt. That's what it is. It is. Jean, if you want to come in and share a little bit how everything's going on the back end of it, I'm kind of out of the loop, but it's just a great 21 days of showing you what you're capable of doing. And
absolutely. It's fast paced, but it's intense. And it is, there are some folks who are beginners that try to jump in and do it. And we do account for that. It's not all the advanced level stuff. So there are the classrooms. drboz tries to put, advanced as well as beginners and folks that are in the mid-level ranges in the same classroom so that we can all interact with each other and learn from each other. But it is an intense course. It's 21 solid days of you're going to get at least 2 hours of intense attention. Let's put it that way. And it could be even more. And 1 hour of it would be for drboz to do her live in the morning. She comes in and she'll do basically a talk, go over some of the things that we're going to do that day. And then the second and third weeks of the course, she will each coach will select a student from their class that drboz will take as a case study. And she will dive deep into that one individual, and we try to find candidates that their metabolic issue is something that can be equal to everyone across the board. That it will touch you in some way, so that it's not just one thing and it's boring for everybody else. And that's where the real fun begins, when Dr. Boz can dive deep into a case study and really pull out, you know, what would she tell you to do if she were your doctor in this situation. So right now the coaches are we have about 8 or 10 new coaches, I think. And so they're in training, and it's just real exciting to get
Good.
started.
It is.
So
It's
yeah.
so good. And just know when you're questioning what your metabolism is capable of doing, and you struggle with wondering, oh, can I even do this? When you
Hmm.
commit to 21 days in a row of pushing, you're going to see
Hmm.
exactly what your body is capable of. And some people get to the end of it and then they back up a little bit and then hit it at a pace they can handle. But it proves to you you can do this. It proves to you, it shows you where your food addictions are. It's going to
Hmm.
show you what is working in your life and what is not, because those numbers are going to be on a chart. Just like with my coaching people, we have the Keto Mojo chart that we can get in there and just pick your numbers apart and find out exactly what is bothering you and what is not, what's
Hmm.
working good for your body, what is not. So if you're ready to jump and run 21-day metabolic kick, I will not be coaching, but there's Jean and a bunch of other great coaches that are over there.
Yes.
I will ask if you would please, while you're over here, use my link that's on my page at journeytoketo.com. It's under Dr. Boz's products. It helps me out a little bit, even though I won't be able to coach this time. So I highly recommend it. I highly recommend the coaches. If you're going ready to go nice and slow, jump in with us over on our coaching
Yeah,
group.
it's a great opportunity too. If Dr. Vaz is, um, she's made the commitment this time to try to visit each class at least 2 times through the
Nice.
21 days.
Yep.
I know last 21-day course, she visited, all the classrooms, and so it's an opportunity for us to pick her brain on a
Yep.
one-on-one, in a classroom setting, but still you have the opportunity to ask her questions, and get your questions answered. So,
And you get
um,
a live with her at like 8:30 in the morning. Is it 8:30 again? Will it be 8?
yeah,
You get a morning session with Dr. Boz live where she's teaching on that today's lesson. So you get with her, you get to learn it directly from her during the day, and then you'll have a coaching time in the afternoon that you'll meet with your group and your personal coach.
right.
So it's a nice little fix. It's a great way to do it. It's just intense. So be
Yeah,
ready and be ready to commit. The other thing I would say, there's people that actually pay for it and don't show up. If you're
yeah.
going to sign up for it, show up for the classes and the time, because even if they're talking on something that you don't think particularly pertains to you, when you get to learning and listening about it, even if it may not pertain to you today, somewhere down the road, it's going to pertain to you. Each step of the science, oh, okay. Each step of the science has applies to just about everybody at some point along your journey. So you'll learn so many things and then you'll get better, then it'll back off, then it's going to get better. You're going to jump in and find something for everybody. So try to make it to the classes, the coaching classes and Dr. Boz classes. So if you're going to
Exactly.
sign up for it, get your money's worth. Get your
Yeah.
money.
Dr. Baz's morning huddle, she calls it her morning huddle. Those will be recorded if folks have to go to work and they can't be on the live. But now the Zoom classes that you have with the individual coach, those are not recorded. So we encourage everyone to be able to be there for
Show
that
up.
live. Yeah.
Yep.
So you get the advantage of that support group.
And then the ones, if you're not ready to drop and run, I do mine. We will be doing it in 6 weeks. The same process in 6 weeks. We're just going to go nice and slow as my chemistry. If my chemistry can kick in and do it in 6 weeks, yours can too, because my body fights me every step of the way. I have a lot of metabolic health issues. I've had chemo. I've been on narcotics for years. So my body fights me, but it's encouragement for you to know if I can do this, anybody can do it.
Are you
So
going to do that in the mornings or during the day? What time frame are
I
you going
think
to
I'm
do
going
that,
to try to do
Tammy?
both. I think we're going to try to do an evening class and a during the day. The guys are working on it on the back end of the website right now. So I'm not
Mhm.
sure what they got my schedule doing, but I'm trying to work it around my therapies.
Awesome. Okay, great.
But keep posted, keep over in the group. I will get it times listed as soon as I know for sure what they are. I can commit. So, okay, let's get the week going. Our week, we will tell you, we are getting back at square one. We are getting out of the cleaning up all the noise. We've cleaned out the fridge, cleaned out the pantry. We are getting back on track. We stocked up on our mackerel and sardines. Mackerel and sardines. I do not like them, but I love what they do for my chemistry, and they are a great tool to have in your toolbox. So we're stocking up on our keto products, ketones from drboz. I'm starting to drink them again just to get my brains in or the ketones in circulation in my brain. I've got my MCT capsules laying here on my desk. I'm trying to get back at it. So all the little steps that I know to do. We put chronometer back on our phones. We are getting Keto Mojo stocked up on your strips and everything. So anything you're doing, we're laying that foundation to get that first chemistry get going, to get everything moving. So we are starting clear back at square one and building it just like everybody else has to. So that's where we're both at.
Yeah, here we go again.
Right? Here we go. We'll get rid of these chipmunk chinks one way or the other.
Yep.
So. All right, come on in. Jean, check in. Tell us how you're doing while you're here, while you're out there.
Okay. Well, I think I'm doing pretty good. I survived the holidays. I didn't go off the rails too bad. But again, you had that tendency to eat a little bit more than you normally would, but I tried to stay within my 20 grams of carb, or under the 20 grams of carbs. And I've done that. I've had, as you know, I've been doing the cholesterol injection, like you have. My cardiologist, I went to a new cardiologist, and he ran a lipid panel, just the plain lipid panel for me. And he wasn't too happy with the progress that I was making. He still thought my cholesterol was way too high. So he's taken me off the Praluent and put me on Repatha. So I took my first injection of Repatha today, like you take. So let's see because I was only taking 75 milligrams of the other one, and this is 150. So he wanted to up it to see if it was going to help any. So we'll see after a while. I'll hopefully that will help. That's my main concern right now, is getting that cholesterol under control. And but yeah, I kind of started prepping early. You know how when we get ready for the 21 day, the coaches have to prep ourselves too, and be ready, to go full force. So, I started with my fasting again and everything, because I didn't really fast a lot during the holidays, but I didn't do extended fast. So I went back to fasting again. So I just finished a fast, and I was pleased with my results. So, but yeah, I'm sticking to it. But I miss you. I wanted to talk to you today, and when I saw that you wasn't coaching, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to start going to her Monday night class.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just therapy is just kicking my butt. Like there are days, I mean, they
yeah,
just ripping me up one side and down the other. So sometimes I got to come home and take a pain pill, and sometimes I try to take one before I go, depending on which therapist I'm getting. So
yeah.
if it's coming soon.
But it's working.
It's working.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Last time it took me 4 times of getting it manipulations done to get it moving. So I'm hoping to be. I'm 2 so far, so I'm hoping to be. I probably gonna need 1 more that I know.
Well, I'll continue to pray for you that your healing is rapid.
Yes, we're gonna get there. Thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Okay.
All right, Olivia, come check in. Our other in-house rock star.
Hi, it's so good to see you and everybody else, and some of the newbies. Looking forward to getting to know them as well. And yeah, so my goal had been through the holidays to stay consistent for 90 days and stay in ketosis, which I was able to do, except for a couple of times. Now I did it for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I was on the 90 days and wanted to do my labs at the end of that, because my goal was to get my A1C even down a little bit more. It was 5.2, but I want it to go down below 5. That's my goal. And so I did my labs and I was, it went down only like 1/10 of a point. So it's at 5.1, but it's going in the right direction.
It's
all that
headed
matters.
the right way.
Yeah. And then my vitamin D was 128. So I'm real happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my triglycerides were 69 and HDL was 62. So
Wow.
all the numbers I was real happy with. My insulin was 1.9. And anyway, but I did, for some reason, I made a keto cheesecake on December 30th. And I've made it before. I usually make it like on special occasions, either for a birthday because it's requested or for some special gathering. And I usually just have like one small slice of it and that's it. But this time, the New Year's Eve occasion didn't really happen. So then it left this big, huge cheesecake for my husband and I at home. And so I had one slice of it the first day, it did okay. But then on consecutive days, on one day, I had two slices. So then I was like really out of ketosis and it opened a Pandora's box because after that, I've been like maybe 10 to 11 days where I've just struggled with my ketones only at 0.5 or 0.7. And finally, they were a little bit
I'm going to
higher.
stop you real quick, Olivia. Did everybody catch that? Now, I want to give you a little backstory for my newbies for Olivia. She's been 5 years into this and she's consistent and she has stayed in ketosis. When she said that at 90 days, we're not talking slight ketosis. She's all in.
Both feet.
Both feet in. So she nails it. For her to have a struggle, so she introduced that sweetness back to the tongue. So now we're getting back into the brains course. Anybody wants to jump into the brains course? I'm teaching that now every week. But that brain stimulation that she's getting with that cheesecake, look what it stimulated. And she's a veteran. She knows what she's doing. She's got a great chemistry. She's got the foundation laid. And even her 5 years in, what that stimulated, just touching that sweetness. Now, I'm sure if it was a keto cheesecake, it was decent, some kind of decent sweetener in it. But it is, the theory in that is it's still sweetness on the tongue. So that sweetness on the tongue does not matter if it's an apple, monk fruit, xylitol, it does not matter. If it's sweetness on the tongue, most of us still get a major reaction from that. So that's a great lesson, Olivia. So thank you. Keep going. Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's been a hard lesson, and I keep telling myself, okay, you're not supposed to beat yourself up. These things happen. We're human.
Brush it off.
Just get back to it. But it's hard. It's hard when you've been doing it this long and you feel like, well, you know better. You
think you got it. I got this. It's no big deal.
Right, right.
It's like dropping the alcoholic off at the bar and saying, just go easy.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Just have a little bit of wine.
doing that, and then it's just like it's been a struggle. So, like I said, my glucose then also maintained at about 90s, mid 90s to 90, to about 96. Sometimes it would go up in 101. So that was like super frustrating because normally it's 70s to 80s, so anyway, it was upsetting nonetheless, but I'm back at it and I'm on a 72-hour fast right now. I'm toying with the idea of, because I've done a lot of 72-hour fasts through the years, and I'm toying with the idea of doing 3 weeks out of the month doing 48-hour fast, and then one weekend doing a 72-hour fast, only because I have now gone past my weight goal. My weight goal had been to get to 118 and I'm down to 113. I don't really want to go down any more than that. I think it's a good place to be, and my body fat percentage has gone from 33.6 down to 20.
Nice.
And so I think I'm at a place where and I do a daily 20 to 22 hour intermittent fasting. And so I think things are where I may tweak things a little bit and maybe not do as many extended fasting. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And
Nice.
I really appreciate that you all are back, and it's great to see you both and see everyone. So
Glad to see
Olivia,
you.
I'm just so proud of you. First of all, does everybody catch it? Olivia is a true veteran at this. She's been at it for 5 years. It has taken 5 years for her to get this chemistry this good, this stable. She worked through issues too. She worked through insulin resistance. She worked through all the stuff that everybody else needs to work through. So she's not a freak of nature that she's just out there being 113 pounds and a great, ketone and glucose ratio. She's got it, but she has worked for it, and she has done the work and laid that foundation. She stays consistent.
She has you just said it. She has been consistent all the time.
Yep. And that's the win. It truly is, because if you can't do this Monday through Friday and think you're going to jump ship on Saturday and Sunday and think you're going to pick up where you left off on Monday, all of us have tried it. We will give you
Don't
the
work.
cliff note. It don't work. It does not work that way. Not if you're trying to build true metabolic health. You just can't. You have to keep that glucose down, and even opening up your eating window. Now, I'm not eating garbage. I'm not eating a donut when I need to take a medication. I'm eating an egg bite, or I'm eating, a piece of cheese, or I'm eating some bacon. Just opening up that much has jacked my numbers all up. I'm bloated. I'm blowing up like a blowfish. It is crazy just opening up that eating window. So don't think it's all easy. Don't think, oh, I've done this and I don't need to go any further. No, if you're not getting those drboz ratios in the morning, that first morning waking glucose and ketones, you're not building that health. And doesn't matter what you're trying to apply that to. If you're not building health on a daily, consistently basis, you're doing the work, scraping your nose on the cement and coming back a step, and you're doing it again. You're not making the progress that you need. Olivia has made the progress because she stays consistent. She does it and pushes through. So good job, Olivia. We love having you back. Come on in, Wayne. Come and tell everybody how you're doing.
Good. Hello, everybody.
What's up, Wayne?
Let me preface this to say the same thing Tammy was just saying for you folks that are just learning all about this. I've been doing this for a few years myself. I'm nowhere near where Olivia is, but I'm doing things that I know if I was new sitting in on tonight, I'd be freaking out a little bit and saying, is this for me? Because it sounds ridiculous when people talk about 72-hour fasts or even 48-hour fasts, or even going 12 hours maybe without eating. So don't even think about those things, because if the time ever becomes right for you to do any of those things, you're going to be ready and your body will respond. Because I thought the same thing when I started. And yeah, I've done 72-hour fasts. I'm not doing them right now, but it sounds ridiculous when you first start. So don't get hung up on those.
I remember the same thing when she first started going through the course, was with the very first group with her. And I remember her saying, yeah, we'll get you down there. And then she started talking about that 72-hour fast. I remember sitting back in my chair like, I ain't ever going to do no 72-hour fast. I'm hypoglycemic. I'll be flopping on the floor like a dead fish.
I told her, hell no.
Like, there is no way we're going 72 hours without putting food in. That is just not going to happen.
Now I can't wait to get back there.
It is the best we feel. He gets a Superman cape on, and I get a honeydew list whipped out like there's no tomorrow. It's a win-win.
So I just wanted to preface what I'm saying here by just letting folks know, don't go hanging up and saying this isn't for me. Where I'm at, I'm reestablishing my chemistry since the beginning of the year, since about, I think this is day 8 of me really cleaning up, checking my numbers every day, logging my food every day, eating in a pretty solid 6 hours with an 18-hour fast. Today it was even shorter simply because I forgot I had a meeting over lunch and I didn't bring any food with me. So I had some powdered bone broth with me. So that's all I had at noontime, and I was fine. If I went back 2 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have been fine with just that. So, progress is happening.
Yep.
Morning numbers still aren't spectacular. I'm still over 100 with my glucose, and I'm just not showing any ketones in the morning, 0.2, 0.3. Yesterday I did an experiment since I was home in the morning, and I said, okay, I'm not going to check my numbers first thing. I waited 3 hours and I checked them, and they were 99 and 0.6. So, I mean, it showed me that my body, because I only check once a day. I'm too cheap to buy strips to be checking 3-4 times a day. Let's be honest.
Right.
So I said, okay, today I'm not going to check first thing in the morning. They've been the same every morning anyway, so what's the difference? I checked, 3 hours later, and I was under 100, and I was at 0.6. So depending on who you listen to, a definition of 0.6 is in a mild ketosis. So I'm like, okay, my body's doing it. I just got a lot of cleanup to do.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with what my body's telling me. So I'm just holding the course right now. I'm going to do some fasting in the not too distant future, but I'm just going to go at my pace. I'm good right now. So
Good deal.
all good.
Good job, Wayne.
And then I want to say something real quick on what Wayne said about the beginners too. Don't freak out. When you put the building blocks together in the right position, that's going to lead you right into the fast, and you won't even think about it. I mean, you'll be building your journey and building your way through that ketosis, and all of a sudden, bam, you're there, and you'll fall into it. You really will. So don't freak out. Just worry about putting those building blocks together correctly. And once you do that, it'll like springboard you into the right place.
And the guys will springboard, like he's saying, and just jump and go. Those of us north of 40 here, any of us girls that were dealing with the hormones, if you do not lay that foundation correctly first, I can guarantee you're going to crash and burn and have to start back over.
And even with the guys too that jump in fast, you will still crash and burn. I mean, some of us are just bullheaded. We push through it. But if you don't lay your foundation correctly, you don't have anything to stand on later.
But those fat-based hormones aren't working, and they're still all knocked out and dead and everything else from all the low-fat diets you've done for how many decades we've been taught low-fat. They're fat-based hormones. What do you think a fat-based hormone does when you're not ingesting any fat and eating only low fat? That's to fuel those fat-based hormones. So we're talking estrogen, progesterone, leptin, ghrelin, testosterone. All of those are fat-based hormones. So if you're not ingesting fat, all those are tapping out and saying, you're not giving me any fuel. So why do I need to work? So we got to wake them all up. And when the guys get going good, but it is hard. I'm not going to lie, for those girls. We've got to lay that foundation. I can't stress that enough.
It's crazy. I looked at my chronometer again yesterday, and I was way low on fat. I'm up into the 270s, 270 grams of fat per day just to run on. That's what I need to ingest. And that's a lot.
But he runs 10 miles a day. I
do 7 to 10 miles a day. So.
Wow.
But
just at work, so he's little on. We could just bottle that energy.
But I mean, that's where you got to go though with it. You got to go and you got to look and you got to track and you got to
check chronometer.
Check where you need to be and what you're actually getting. Because if you're not getting enough, you're going to be tired. You're going to be hangry. You're going to be whiny.
That fat is still locked behind the cell. Until you introduce enough fat that your cell can open up and that the fat can start coming out and being used as fuel, that fat's locked in behind the cell. So you've got to introduce that fat. Don't be afraid of those healthy fats. Now, that's one thing to be mindful of. We want those fats to be healthy fats. Yes. Make sure we don't want canola oil. We don't want seed oils. We don't want any vegetable oils. Check your dressings, especially if you're trying to up things and get your fats up a little bit. Make sure you're checking those dressings. That blue cheese and that ranch is always good, easy ways to get your fats up. But if you look at the ingredients and turn that bottle around, most of the time, most of those dressings are made with crap oils. So just think, if you're putting crappy oil in, that's the building block of tomorrow's cells. So you want it to be a healthy fat. Go over onto our website if you need to order condiments, dressings, mayonnaise, and ketchup, anything like that. Go over to our website. under Primal Kitchen, and there is a whole section of Primal Kitchen products over there. I think my code over there is Journey to Healing, Journey to Keto. It should be wrote on the website. I'll have to look that one up, but they do have all the products that you need, and they're not cheap. I'm not going to lie to you. They are not cheap at all. But when you get down to you're putting good nutrition in, your grocery budget is able to be compensated for because you're not buying all the junk you used to buy. You're not buying all the cheapy crap stuff that gives you no nutrition. Put your money into the nutrition that's going to nourish and feed your body. So you're going to pay more for a good jar of mayonnaise. You're going to pay more for a bottle of ketchup that's not full of corn syrup. You know, you're going to pay more, but your health and your cells are worth it, because what you're putting in today is the building blocks for tomorrow's cells. So we want to build health. We don't want to keep taking it away. So good job.
The other thing that you can do is, expand your palate. I'm going to use an example that I've done this month. Was Tammy mentioned blue cheese. I mean, that blue cheese dressing I could put on anything and eat it. And, by trying to take some dairy out, trying to take some of the seed oils out of my diet, it's like I just drew a line and said, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I had to figure out something, because I still typically will have a small salad every week, a couple times a week. I said, to heck with it. I just threw a little olive oil on it, and I took some chopped walnuts and put on it. I mean, walnuts are generally friendlier nut for keto. Don't go hog wild with them, just a tablespoon or maybe a heaping tablespoon. But that and some olive oil, and I'm pretty happy with it. So it's just an opportunity for us to break the routine and try something different that we typically don't do. And that keeps you out of having to buy a lot of the higher priced, friendlier things.
And just know too, most dressings, when you start cleaning up the noise in your pantry and the noise in your refrigerator, you start cleaning those things up. Most of the things that you're going to use are so simple and so much cheaper to make. We have a YouTube video on making bacon grease mayonnaise. We use the leftover bacon grease and make mayonnaise out of it. You can cut it. You need 1 cup of oil to one or 2 eggs. It's that simple. So you can take that oil and you can use a half a cup of bacon grease with a half a cup of butter. You can use MCT oil. You can use just about anything you want. Olive oil, avocado oil. Make it. It is so cheap and easy that way. Then you're not pushing your budget, and you know what's in it. If you need dressing, make homemade dressing. Vinegar and oil is so cheap and easy. Use a good fat oil and use a good vinegar. Balsamic vinegar, things like that. Just use something minimal, but make your own dressing. It's too easy than to worry about all the crappy ones.
All products and stuff.
Yeah, it just gets easier. It really does. As you get narrowed down, if you ask most of our veterans that have been through it before, and we've been in here for years now, when you truly get your fridge cleaned out to what's acceptable and what's not, everybody says, how do you afford to eat like that? We eat ribeyes 2 or 3 nights a week, because when we're fasting 3 days, our budget, we can afford to eat ribeyes 3 nights a week. We get big ones cut. They serve us for 2 meals. We're eating 1 meal a day, and we go out one night. We're good.
We get quality over quantity.
Yes. And the big thing, if you learn nothing else in the 21-day course, I will promise you this. You learn that 4 ounces of sardines fills you up just fine. I only need
the rest is mental.
So here's my trade-off in that. If 4 ounces of sardines fills me up, I really probably don't need a 22-ounce ribeye. Think about it. I go to a restaurant and I have a ribeye the size of my head. But when I'm eating those sardines, I'm quite full. It's all right here.
That's one thing when we were really into ketosis that I was surprised of portion size. How much portion size?
It's bottomless pit.
You throw a steak in front of me, I'll eat the whole thing. But halfway through, I'm full and I need to stop. And that's what I started doing finally. And it worked so much better.
And a little trick of doing that, instead of going into a restaurant, we go to the same restaurant, we eat the same steak. It's no big deal. We go in and order. I mean, he puts the order in 2 ribeye steaks, medium, 2 Caesar salads, and 2 club sodas. It's that simple. But when we go in and you realize I don't need all of that, and we sit down and enjoy it. That's our time together to sit and talk. That's our time to catch up on our day, our week, or whatever. We make it a date night. It's not just scarfing supper. It's spend that time. And if you slow down and enjoy it, it's amazing how fast you get full. And you don't have to scarf the whole 22 ounces down to get it. Because if 4 ounces of sardine fills you up, you don't need 22 ounces of ribeye. Note to self. I'm saying that so I hear it, but be mindful of that, because 22-ounce ribeye will throw me over on my protein, make my glucose go up the next day. We're pretty much carnivore most of the time, but if I eat that 22-ounce ribeye, you can bet my morning glucose is not going to be good. And even if that's all I ate was that 22-ounce ribeye, I will get a high glucose in the morning. So it matters. You can't eat your body weight in meat and think it's not going to affect you. So even if you're carnivore, you still got to stick to eat till you're comfortably full. Not
learn to recognize it.
Yes, learn to recognize when you're comfortably full.
That's the biggest thing. Give yourself time. And that's another thing too. You slow down, and when you slow down and eat, you give your body time to react. So when you eat a little slower, it's perfect, because then you realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm full, instead of shoveling it in like crazy.
Right. All right. Thank you, Wayne. Come on, Sue. Come and check in. Tell us how you're doing. I think Sue's getting ready to jump onto being rock star status here pretty soon.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
Good job.
What it takes.
I love you guys. I really do. My friends have started kind of turning away from me because that's all I talk about. You know,
Hey, wait till they're running from you.
You're sick. Duh. Too bad if you're sick. You won't listen, so just be sick. I just get tired of it. But anyway, I listened in on another group Tuesday night. I was floored by, well, we don't keep our numbers, we don't do this, we don't do that, blah 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 blah. And I'm going, why are you even together? Right? Why do you waste your time? So anyway, I'm probably not
love it when you hear, oh, I do keto. Okay, what's your numbers?
I mean, they just don't, to me, that's important. It's very important.
That's the difference doing keto to just drop a little bit of water weight and keto to build health. We're building health at the cellular level, and the other way of doing it, you're not. There's just no way around it.
They're not.
Better than what they were.
And they're all excited, and they're going to Keto Palooza and all this garbage. And I'm going, why spend the money when you aren't doing the program?
Exactly.
Anyway, I mentioned on there that I had only had like 700 calories that day, and they just all had what's spacey. Oh, you're not eating enough. You're not eating enough. Okay. So the next 2 or 3 days, I tried to eat more. My numbers went all wacko. I mean, really bad. So when you kept saying macros last week, I have no idea what you're talking about. I think I have figured it out. That's what Chronometer has, those lines at the top.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
So this week the last 3 days, I've been really good at watching those and making sure I'm not going over.
Good. Okay. I want to show everybody, if you've not understood this, I might not have made it clear. Make sure anybody, when you hook up your chronometer,
and that's
the lines at the top, I know it's going to be backwards, but the lines here at the top where it says my protein, or energy, protein, carbs, and fat, to know that your chronometer is set up properly, your carbs should say 20 grams. If it says 50 or above, then you have something not quite set right to do our program the way we do it.
Right.
The way Boz teaches it.
And ask the question, because I can probably figure it out. You have something turned on that shouldn't be turned on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but tracking those numbers is key.
Oh yeah, I've done that for 3 days. I feel awesome. I had 1.1, I think, ketones today, which they were down to 0.5 2 days ago. I mean, so I figured it out. I know what's going on now. So I know to watch that, and I'm doing fine. And it is and what you said a while ago about eating till you're full. I realize that a lot, that it don't take much.
Right.
And so I'm still doing my 23-and-1 because that's where I'm comfortable at.
Good.
Perfect.
And it's like, you can't get those calories in an hour. It don't take much to get all those calories in.
But don't you think too, Sue, when you're putting in high density nutrition, that's the difference with the calories. We don't have to worry about calories because what is going in me is better core nutrition, building blocks for tomorrow's cells. Everything that goes in my body is high density nutrition. I don't need to worry about the calories.
Right, right.
Well,
And-
it's not to say never worry about calories down the road, but right now when we're working on our chemistry, that's the least of my worries.
Yeah,
And what
yeah.
she means by high density nutrition is every bite of food that you take, give it the most it can be in that bite.
I mean, that's
Okay.
right. That's basically what got us down the path of carnivore-ish is because nothing, I mean, I love a good crunchy salad once in a while. That's my old school thinking. It does not serve my health, but it's like some crunchy water once in a while for me to chew on. It's a mental game. Occasionally, when we go out to eat, I like a nice crunchy Caesar salad while I'm waiting for my steak. But the rest of the week, the noise, I don't need all the side dishes. I don't need a meat and a potato and, or even just a vegetable. Because
No.
as soon as you start adding in that broccoli is not giving me a damn thing on top of what that steak is giving me. The cauliflower is not giving me a darn thing compared to I need the meat. So whether it's sardines or a ribeye or a hamburger, I need that protein in that meat. And that's what my body likes. So don't beat yourself up over that. Don't worry about the calories. You're feeling good at 23 and 1. I applaud you. You're getting high density nutrition in you.
Yeah.
If you feel good and your body has energy, what's not the win?
I do. I've got what my dad mom used to call it nervous energy.
Yep.
And I think that's what he had. He had a good
Is he in
metabolism.
ketosis?
Yeah, I think so. Even though he didn't practice it.
Right.
But he had that. I've always had that all my life until the last few years, and I feel it again.
Nice.
We were sitting in Sunday school yesterday morning, and I've been eating like at noon to 1 o'clock. So I'm sitting in Sunday school and I'm just kind of jittery. And I'm going, man, those ketones are working. I mean, I know what it is.
He tears our whole house apart when he's in ketosis.
No, not our whole house.
It doesn't scare me now because I know what it is.
But if you look at our you look at our grandparents and stuff like that, look at the old school ways of thinking. Grandpa didn't get up and eat 16 times a day. When my parents and my grandparents, they didn't get snacks handed to them all day because they were going to die if they didn't eat every 2 hours. They ate, they went to work, they came home, they ate supper.
And they usually ate what grew in the backyard.
I mean, it wasn't a bunch of, right now it's like, if you look at our kids, like they send the kids to, they have a snack in the morning, they get to school, they get a breakfast and a snack at school. Then they go to lunch and they have some god for awful lunch handed to them.
Mhm.
In the afternoon and a snack, and they come home from school and need a snack again before supper time. It's like, good Lord, no wonder we have kids that are so metabolically broken. It's just sad what we're pushed into. But if you look back at our grandparents, just like you're saying, your dad's probably been in ketosis his whole damn life.
He probably has, yeah.
Because he worked and ate, used that fuel.
Yeah, I agree. I know. Jeff's on here. He's my son, and he's been struggling. So, but he knows what I'm talking about too. But I'm doing great. I'm anxious to see my numbers in the morning.
Nice.
I do have a challenge Friday night. My daughter's 50th birthday, and she wants me to go out to a dinner buffet. They don't even serve supper till 6 o'clock, and I've been quitting eating by 3. So I'm really,
go to a buffet and pick the meat. Eat all
I'm
the meat.
really kind of struggling with that, but we'll be okay. But I'm doing great. Let's go.
That's awesome.
Hey, Sue, I got one thing for you to take a look at on your chronometer. When you look at the amount of protein that you need in a day and the amount of fat. Okay, look at those look at those two numbers that you need.
Right.
So your protein grams.
My protein is at 43.1 and the fat's at 72.
Okay, so you're almost a 2-to-1 ratio. Basically. So if you can think about it as basic as this, for every bite of protein, I need 2 bites of fat on that protein.
Yeah.
So any way you can get that in, you'll those numbers will just start to rock out. So
Well, and that's what I'm doing. I'm making sure that I don't go over that, or if I do, like my fat right now is at 108, well, big deal.
that's fine.
But that's, you know what? I bet it was 300 and some a while because I wasn't paying any attention.
Yeah.
And that's
And
so
I am
easy to do.
I am still putting cream in my coffee during my 1 hour eating window.
There you go.
Other
There's the
than
key.
that, I have, because that adds to the fat. And it's amazing. Sometimes I'll go put food in that I think I'm going to eat. And when I look at my numbers, it's like, no, that don't work. We got to do something different.
Did everybody catch what she said? Did everybody catch that? She put it in before she ate it. That is such a win, because you will put something in that you think you're fine on. And it's like, oh my, no, I'm not.
Well,
it lets you make a choice. So good job, Sue.
Yeah, we made bacon and eggs this morning, and my hubby's doing it too. So we're great. He's not checking his numbers, but he's eating the way we are. But we made bacon and eggs, and then I added my fat and my coffee. And by the time I had 4 slices of bacon and 4 fried eggs and my fat, I was at my limit for the day, and that's fine.
Yep.
You know.
And then it's the mental game of zip it. It really is. But that's where warm tea comes in, black coffee, black tea, something like that. Sip on something if you need it. Or even I've taken hot water and put some salt in it, little oregano, like a pinch of oregano in it. That makes you think like you're drinking soup broth. There's a lot of little tricks you can do for the rest of the day, but not to add out any calories. You've got everything in, you've hit it. It's the mental game. Work on that mental game of healing that brain.
And just know too, if you start running out of energy for some reason, you're low on fat. You have trained your body to be a fat burner. Feed it fat for energy.
Okay, because my energy bar never is over. I don't know what you do to get the energy bar over, but I don't care as long as my other 3 things match, you know.
And as long as you're feeling good, then as your chemistry progresses down and you become further down the road, then if we need to adjust anything, we can. It's no big deal, but you got it. I'm proud of you, Sue.
I jumped in with this because, I mean, I've been keto carnivore for about 8 years. So I felt like I kind of knew what I was already doing.
Good job.
Well, just get after it now.
Time to rock.
We're going.
We're going. We're in it.
Love it.
All right. I love it. All right. Come on in, Candace.
Hey, how are you? Thank you. I'm glad to meet all of you.
Hi, Candace.
Welcome.
Hi.
Our crazy tribe.
Yeah.
It's fun listening to you. I'm learning so much already.
Good. You had a couple questions.
Yes, you had some questions.
I did have a lot of, and probably have more now, but go ahead.
That's great. One was wanting to know about the morning glucose coming down. Wasn't that one of them?
Yes, one of them was, should I test? Do people test more often? Because I know usually your glucose is highest in the morning.
It's a curiosity thing.
Yeah, and I'm noticing it's coming down, but then I don't know what's happening as I eat. I'm doing 1 meal a day right now and have been for the last couple weeks, and it's working well. I don't know what my numbers are doing during the day. I don't know if that really matters, though.
Okay, I would back you up a little bit. First of all, did you do all the building block steps at the beginning? Did you get your
I did.
Others in you?
I met Dr. Boz back in last October at the Keto
Orlando Summit.
Yeah, in Orlando. And I did I've done the consistently keto. I've gone back, and now I'm to the place, even though I wasn't eating really well over Christmas, I still kept it at about 16 fasted a day.
Good.
16 hours and then eight hours. So slowly I've gotten to the 1 meal a day, probably over the last 2 weeks. I feel good. I'm eating plenty. I'm not hungry. I'm wondering if I'm eating enough food, or is that even a worry? I want to make sure I get enough protein and fat.
Okay. Do you have your chronometer set up the way Dr. Boz has you set up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you know you have that, go by your chronometer, first of all. Second of all, that morning glucose, the morning glucose is the one that is going to talk about your metabolic health. That's going to say where you are truly at. The morning glucose is the first one that matters the most. Now, for curiosity's sake, if you want to check later on in the day, or if you want to check a specific food to see how it's bothering you, there's a lot of different things that you can check on by just checking your numbers later on through the day. How does, like, cream is a great example. Cream fits perfectly in my numbers, but it does not fit in my body. And I know that because I'll put my cream in my eating window in the afternoon. And when I put cream in my body, my glucose goes way higher than it should.
Oh, wow.
So you will learn those things by testing. So you eat, you test, you eat the food or the drink or whatever, and then you test every 30 minutes, 60 minutes, hour and a half, whatever. That's for teaching moments later. But the one that tells about your true metabolic health is that first morning waking glucose and ketone. That's the one that matters. Like Wayne says, the rest of us are too cheap to buy strips to do it more often.
Right. So how are you getting such high ketones in the morning? Mine tend to be low. I mean, today was 0.9, which is probably the highest it's been first thing in the morning. And I'm done eating usually by 2.
Okay. So as that morning glucose comes down, those ketones will go up. Think of it as a seesaw.
That makes sense.
Like a teeter-totter. That glucose has to go down to get the ketones to go up.
Because my ketones were the lowest today I've seen since I started. Yeah. And my glucose was the lowest. My ketones were probably the highest.
As you get
even though that's low.
As you get more attentive on what you're doing and more aware of what you're putting in your body, you're going to experience different numbers. It's going to take your body a little bit to get cleaner, if you will. As you get cleaner with what you put in, your body will respond with cleaner numbers after that. So, I mean, you might even have to tighten up your window at some point, go from the 16.8. You need to dial that in towards the 20 range, 20, 22, 23 and 1. I mean, that's where you need to get to really see your numbers take off.
And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now, 23 and 1.
Okay. And the cleaner that you can do that 23 and 1, the better your numbers are going to be.
And then it's just hold space until they get there.
Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat.
Don't come off a day and give yourself a grace because you're going to fill that right back up. So just that's where the consistency, don't zigzag, don't jump in and out.
If you want to check through curiosity for your numbers throughout the day, your numbers are going to go up and down. Your ketones and your glucose is going to crisscross all day long because you're going to experience stress. You're going to experience physical stress, mental stress, whatever. Your glucose may shoot up for no reason at all other than the doorbell rang. I mean, something stupid. But your glucose may shoot up for that. There's all kinds of different things that are going to affect your numbers. That's why when you take your numbers first thing in the morning, usually you don't have any stressors on you at that point. You wake up, you when your eyes open up. You see, oh yeah, that's my numbers. That's probably going to be your most pure number that you're going to get.
And there's a really cool thing on the Keto Mojo dashboard that I have for all my coaching clients. It'll make a chart and we will literally be able to bring it up and see every Monday morning you're stressed out and your glucose is high and your ketones are low. What is that? We check your chronometer. Your foods are all lining up. You're doing good. But hey, find out every Monday morning you have a faculty meeting that drives you insane and ticks you off and your stress is through the roof. So that will make you your numbers every week. And then you get to determine, okay, is that Monday meeting worth what it's doing to my health? And that's where you really start to make this a lifestyle because you make decisions based on, if this doesn't benefit my health, it doesn't need to be a priority in my life, period. So but the people that come around you, the job that you do, the places you go, all of that causes stress is huge. We need to have a whole conversation on stress someday, but it's huge. Wow. But if you're getting there right now, just stay consistent and keep working on that morning glucose coming down.
She just said it. Consistency will get you your numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't take you, it took you how many years to get in the position that you are. It's not going to turn around in a week. You have to be consistent.
Numbers, people.
Yes. Track and be consistent and just do it and wait. And you'll see the things start to change and just stay there. Just build those blocks one at a time. Don't try to build 3 at a time. Just one step.
Good job, Candace. Let us know. Keep your questions coming over in their group.
What was the other one she had?
Was there another
Thank
one?
you.
I think she had 2.
I had 2.
What was the other one?
That's great. We got trying to read really quick. Another question. I don't have a CGM.
You don't need a CGM. Your Keto Mojo will work perfectly well.
Okay.
In fact, sometimes it's easier with the Keto Mojo. The Keto Mojo will come into my dashboard. So if we get you signed into my dashboard, then that comes up and it'll make all that. So it'll be there. I don't know. I know last I talked to Keto Mojo, they were working on getting the CGM. Jean, do you know anything different on the CGM coming to the dashboard yet? Not that I know of, it don't, but the
Yeah.
right now Keto Mojo does. So
Yeah, I have not heard that it's linked up yet.
I know they're working on it. So it's coming down the pike at some point. It'll be there. But Keto Mojo is just fine. I love it.
Yep.
It's really
I
cool.
actually, I like it.
It's cool. The cool part of it too is I'm one of the guinea pigs for Keto Mojo's program of they're putting a chat feature in my patient portal dashboard. So now I can chat back and forth with you on your numbers on a daily. It'll date it and tell you when it is and what we're talking about, what we shared. So I'm using it for my coaching platform. So it's kind of neat to be able to do it back and forth. So they've got lots of things in the make too. So Keto Mojo is great. So don't worry about that at all. All right. Okay.
Welcome to the group.
Yes, and welcome. Good to have
Thanks.
you. Lori, do you want to come and check in? Got you muted.
Tap on the unmute the
Found
microphone.
it.
There
Okay.
you go.
Found it. I was clicking the wrong button.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, I'm Lori. I found Dr. Boz, I think like end of November, beginning of December.
Awesome.
And I've been kind of a Dave Asprey bulletproof kind of girl for a long time. And I can't live without my coffee. But there's so but I found Dr. Boz on YouTube, and then I read both of her books, and I did the second
Keto Continuum?
program, the Continuum.
Okay.
And I'm planning to do her 21-day course.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah, I was doing pretty well. Like I've been eating high fat, good fats, organic, all that, but I didn't realize I just was kind of plateaued for a long time. And a lot of it, I think, had to do with my carb intake that I thought wasn't bad, but I think
Right.
carbs a day is probably
I think
more
we've all
than
done that.
Yes.
Yeah. So when she said 20, I'm like, oh my gosh, what does that look like? So I too have gone basically over the course of the last like 6 weeks or whatever it's been, 2 months, not quite. I'm almost what I guess you'd be calling like a ketovore. I decided that if I only get 20 carbs a day or 20 carbs, I don't want to waste it on broccoli.
Right. Right. Exactly it. That broccoli is not going to fill me up like that ribeye will.
Exactly. I don't like it. So I do a lot of fat though. I like the fats. I do a lot. Everything seems to have bacon in it these days. I just fry bacon,
Nice.
little bacon, and make it with my different. Any meat I make kind of has bacon grease or bacon in it.
Yep.
I don't know. I just love it. I've lost like 25 pounds since
Good job.
the beginning of December.
Good job. That's fast.
So thanks. Yeah, I know. I'm just like, this is like all I can think of is my mitochondria just healing. And
Yep.
and it's for the first time I don't want to be thin. I mean, I don't mind it, but
Right. You wanna be
Good,
healthy.
good mental attitude about that, because the weight loss is a happy side effect. You
Yes.
really have to think of that. This is about getting healthy,
That's
not
the
necessarily
difference.
losing weight.
That's the difference of some other keto groups. And I'm not slamming, I'm just saying that's the difference of when you're dropping water weight, or are you building cellular health? That's the difference of and you're building cellular health.
And
So
how
good
much
for you.
damage have you had, or do
How
you
long
need to
is it?
heal from,
Mhm.
as opposed to somebody else? I mean, no, that's hard to measure. So
But if you watch the progression of that, I mean, Lance and I are both starting. We eat almost exactly the same thing at every meal. We're pretty much on the same time frame, everything. If you watch, check him in a month and check me in a month. He'll
Okay.
be half himself.
Okay.
I'll still be chugging along, but I mean,
Okay.
it kicks in.
but I'm totally blessed because I haven't
He's
had
never been sick.
zero.
Like,
The only thing I had was back surgery, 2 years ago. That was it. Nothing.
and
I'm
he rocked
totally
keto.
blessed.
Yeah. So he's
Okay.
never been sick. I
Throwing
had
it-
chemo, heart attack, breast cancer.
She's like a pin cushion. She's been poked so many times.
I'm hollow from the boobs down. So it's
Okay.
one of those things. So it's one of those, I have a lot more issues to deal with.
She has a lot more
So
healing to do
you're
than
gonna
I do.
get there. So you will get there. Whatever your health level is, just stay consistent and stay at it. You got it. And if you're lost 25 pounds since December, you are doing something right. So good job.
I am, yeah, I'm really excited. So yeah, and I'm excited about the 21-day challenge because what I want to just really, I want to get down another maybe 20, ideally another 25 pounds would make me stop being overweight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You wait and see what that 21 days does to you then. If you've done this good
we'll
and
see.
yeah, that's going to be
So,
awesome.
and
Good
then,
job.
yeah,
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Nice.
And if you hit that plateau, just
Yep.
keep staying consistent, even though you're at a
Yes.
plateau, because your body's adjusting to your new way of doing things, and just ride that plateau out. As you come out of that plateau, you may find another stressor that you need, maybe fasting, maybe, something a little bit tighter.
Something.
I found, I know the answer. It's 4 ounces of sardines.
There you
Right?
go.
Right?
Yep.
Again, I
do
don't.
that. I do one day of like what I would call a sardine fast, where I allow myself to have sardines that day to eat. If I'm hungry, I eat sardines.
Yep.
And I did it on Friday, and I opted to just not eat.
Right? Okay, but isn't that a great?
24-day?
That's a great mental game. It's a great
It
mental
is.
game to play with yourself. If you're truly trying to wonder is this an addiction or am I truly hungry?
Yeah.
I know there's some people, I think, David, you're one of them. I think we were talking about having that sugar addiction, that craving and stuff like that. When you make a deal with the devil and yourself of saying, if I'm hungry enough to eat sardines, then I better damn well be really hungry because I don't like them babies. So if I'm hungry enough and I'm going to make myself eat sardines, then I'm hungry and I deserve to eat, but I'm going to eat it. Sardines or mackerel. So that's our trade-off in that. But you're working on the brain health in that. You really are, and you don't even know it. So good job.
But also look how you put the building blocks together. You kind of falling into that. I mean, it's the direction you're going, not because you're pushing it. It's just because you're following into it. So kudos. Awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
Good job.
Thank you so much. And I do have to run, but thank you. And I hope to be back next week.
See you next week.
We'll be here next Monday.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you all. Bye-bye.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Linda, come on in. Tell us how you're doing.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Had an appointment with my doctor this week, and it's official because it's been on her scale. So, and she was very excited. She's got me lined up to be stuck like a pincushion for all kinds of blood work. And so the results haven't come back. But for me, one of the exciting things was while I was talking to her, I said, listen, I'm off sugar and I'm off flour, but to be perfectly honest with you, I'm eating keto. And she goes, She goes, well, that's essentially how I eat. And I
really?
Pass that doctor out. Give her cards out.
Lucky you.
Where are you located?
I know.
Where are you located? You mind me
Up
asking?
in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Okay. Well,
Frozen north.
congratulations.
I know.
That's awesome. That's a win.
I know. Very, very excited. So she's been very quiet. Like this is I'm coming up on a year of her being my doctor. And I've been, cagey in what I've shared because I don't do well when people come down heavy on my my eating. And so I've kind of said, well, I'm staying off the sugar and I'm staying off the flour, and everybody just, oh, yes, very good. Yes, that's exactly the way to go. And I don't use the K word at all normally. But I've started to own it because the honest to goodness truth is that this is me. And I think I'm getting a little. You. That's exactly right. So I've got some coworkers at work who are dealing with type 2 diabetes, and I went and I said to them, yeah, would you be interested in a support group? Would you be interested in finding out what I'm doing? And so one of them's, yeah, maybe. And the other one's like, I don't know. They've just put me on one of those drugs, and I think we've got it all set. And I was like, you know what? You have to do what's the right decision for you. But if you ever want to talk about this, I'm just going to be living my life right here in front of you. It's not like you can't see it.
That's awesome.
So that's where I'm at with that. My numbers are what my numbers are. So this morning my blood glucose was 90, which is really nice for me. That's nice to be not in the hundreds. and my ketones were at 0.9, which is that's a good number for me, because I frequently get up in the morning and it's 0.1 or 0.2. So I'm super happy with that. I'm loving the fact that the group is back together again. Thank you so much, Tammy and Lance. I came home. Back. That's it. And I'm a newbie. I have a question for Olivia. Olivia, how tall are you? It's hard to tell on the screen.
She's about that tall.
That doesn't help, Lance, because I don't know how tall you are.
Oh, I'm 6'1".
Okay, fine.
Come on in, Olivia.
I am 5'2".
Oh, you're petite.
Okay. Thing.
Yeah, I'm not.
Dr. Berry says that what's really important to keep in mind is your height and height to waist ratio. And it should be 0.5 or below. And mine.
Wait, what? Wait. Oh, you mean do inches to weight, right? Inches to waist?
Inches.
Oh.
Height inches to waist.
Inches of height to inches of waist. Oh, I am having a good day.
So it needs to be at least 0.5 or below. And when I started all this, mine was like almost 0.6. Now it's 0.43. So, like Lance,
awesome.
Lance has said, staying consistent is really, really important, because I used to not do that for many years. I would, on the weekend, I'd go out of ketosis and kind of go crazy. And so, yeah, just staying consistent helps.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that knowing, I don't know, it's like coming here and talking to all of you. It helps.
It does.
So I just want to say thank you, and it's been good. So I'll keep it brief, because it's been a good week, and there's whining at work, but that's not whining here, so that's okay.
That's where it is so beneficial for all of us to be with like-minded people. And I know we all have better things to do than sit on these lives with everybody, but I'm telling you, just to walk away inspired and
it goes for us too.
We need you guys as much as you need
your
us.
guys' energy energizes us, and it
makes us accountable too, because we suck.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah,
we're human. Right. We don't suck. Yeah. We're human.
Well,
and Tammy, I'll be plugging with you. I'm not doing the 21-day thing. I don't have the bandwidth to take on the investment of time that it really requires. And I'm working full time, and I have enough on my plate.
When you work down through the keto continuum and you get really consistent and you get strong and comfortable in it, then it'll come. She does it twice a year. It'll come around and you'll be, this is my time. Then you'll jump and run. You'll get it. Just and that's the same way I was. I wanted to do it this time, but I'm like, you know what? I can't. I know I wouldn't succeed.
And I think we actually had a serious conversation about it, because she's a drboz coach, but with the way her surgery has played out, with the way her therapy is right now, she needs to get healthy and get focused on her before she can get focused on other people. Yeah. So
it's learning to take some humble medicine and back up.
She's got to take.
I'll just plug along with you, Tammy. We'll let Lance go running his 10 miles, slow and steady, turning into half the man.
We're gonna make the guys go into another group so they
hit all my goals again today. So.
I know. Shut up.
The little activity ring on your watch.
Yeah. Would you cut that out? Yeah, just because you run in circles around the TV does not count.
10,000 steps, 5.19 miles, and 6 flights of stairs today.
I so can't hear you right now.
Right. I get the part on my watch where it's like, okay, dude, it's time for you to stand up. It's like, shut up. Shut up. I'm working. All right. Thank you, Linda.
Thanks.
Come on. Is it Mimi? Are you on Mimi?
Hit that button right there.
Unmute. There. Nope.
The little mic. There you go.
It's Mim. And I'm a newbie. I found drboz last March, and then I started keto April 15th. Fast forward, this is the first holiday I went through that I could stay within a 3-pound kind of weight.
Fluctuation.
Yeah, instead of 10 or 15 pounds kind of thing. I've lost close to 20 pounds in that time, and weight wasn't like an issue thing for me, but it's a nice bonus. My morning fasting glucose is still high, like I'm in the hundreds, and then same thing like a lot of you have said. My ketones bounce like between 0.1 or 0.2, and then some mornings, you know, I'm lucky and I get a 0.8 or a 0.9 or a 1.2. I did do a continuous glucose monitor just after the holidays, and I was not aware that I dropped to 68 and 80 at nighttime, because I figured, how is this weight loss happening if my glucose is still like 100 or 109 or 106 in the morning when I get up? So I started doing what some of you others did, is taking a glucose before I would eat. Like I'm doing like 16/8, so not till 11 or 1 o'clock in the you know, in the day. And there I was getting 96 and a 0.8. So I have a doctor's appointment in 2 weeks, and you can bet that fasting glucose, when they take my blood, I'm not going in to have that drawn until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. Yep. You know what, Linda, something else I didn't mention for both of you having blood labs and stuff done. Make sure you're a good, you know, time frame into that and your chemistry is stable, because you will get some high numbers at first and then they'll level back out. So don't be totally alarmed if you get some high stuff. And then when you come out of that and your body will level out, those tests will level out again too. So you'll want to make sure you schedule another one in 6 months just to keep a check on things.
Yeah, I did an A1C, the one from drboz in November, and I was 5.5. So I was like, well, there's room for improvement on that. And I just ordered another one and it came today. So I figure I'm going to wait and see if my doctor's going to order an A1C with my fasting blood work. But it's so nice to hear all your comments, because gosh, I don't say much about keto to other people either, because people are like, you're going to kill yourself. What you're doing isn't right. You can't eat that much fat. You're going to have a heart attack. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it all. So
we do. We hear it too. I've had a heart attack, and that's the first thing people want to say. Oh, it's that. What? Nope. It's the 20. It's the how many years before that of eating.
She's the only one. She's the only one on the cardiac floor of the hospital that had a steak for dinner. After a heart attack.
After I had my heart attack, here, a cute little story. I'll keep this short. After my heart attack, and we're still down in Austin, Texas. We're on the cardiac floor. He's done my heart, put the stents in and everything. And we get up there, and then they bring me this tray of food, and I'm looking at it like, there ain't a darn thing on this tray I can eat.
Nothing.
Like, it's like, forget it. I'll fast before I'm going to eat what's on this tray. So no big deal. I said to the nurse, I'm like, could you please just call Dr. Boyer and see if I can, you know, Uber eat some food in or something like that. And she says, honey, you're on the cardiac floor. This is what you have to eat now. And I'm like, no. Can you please call him for me? I said, just call him. He calls her right back. He says, girl, she knows how to eat better than anybody on this floor. So let her eat whatever the hell she wants.
we Ubered
in some steaks.
Ubered in some steak.
But you'll get that. But you got to take the win and understand you're doing what's best to build your health. And you know what? When people think you're doing keto, they think of the crappy there
is different ways of doing keto.
Sometimes you just say an anti-inflammatory diet or a carnivore diet or something like that. And a lot of times that goes across easier than the K word. But again, it's getting people to understand that we are doing this to build health. Everything we ingest is the building blocks for tomorrow's cells. It's that simple.
Yeah, I found sardines in the last year. I found eggs again, lots of avocado. But the sardines, they have really been kind of a game changer. Like, you know, are you really hungry? If you're that hungry,
you gotta love her for that one. I'd have never in a million years thought of that. We traveled down one time to see her, and we literally, while we were down there filming with her, we had cases of sardines in our suitcases.
We took cases of sardines and a case of pork rinds.
Yeah, we travel with our.
That was our food. Watch your avocados.
Yeah, those add up quick.
Those add up really, really quick. So
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Put them in your chronometer once and see what they are.
Make sure you're checking that. Make sure you track.
I have that chronometer. I do that daily, and they have a thing in January. If you log every day, you're like entered so many tickets or whatever for, I don't know what the winning thing is, but they keep me on track because they're like,
yes.
Good.
And just know too, on the back end of Keto Mojo, for all my ones on my patient portal and over here, you can connect your chronometer with your Keto Mojo, and those two will talk back and forth. So when it comes up on my patient portal over here, when you're my coaching clients, it'll come up on my dashboard, and now you'll be able to see your chronometer and your Keto Mojo. So it's kind of a neat graph to see in there together. So you'll see what your food days are like to what it's doing with your numbers. So good job. Nice job and welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Jeff, we're gonna wake you up, buddy. Come on in and say hi. We got some newbies tonight, so good job.
This is Sue's
Can
son?
you guys hear me?
Yes,
sir.
I've got my mic on. Yeah, I'm Sue's son, so
welcome.
she probably gets sick of getting texts from me almost every day. I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on. But let's see. I probably started low carb in October 2022. More serious because we had a car wreck and I was 414. And as of this morning, I was 301.
Nice.
Wow. So I'm down 114, but I'm stuck at that point in time. I've talked to Mom about it because I'm on Topamax, and my doctor doesn't want me to go under 40 carbs.
I don't. Doesn't want you under 40 carbs?
Yeah, she said it's not safe to go under 40 carbs.
I'm not going to go against what your doctor tells you, but
yeah, exactly, and that's my problem. So I can't really get into ketosis with that. I'm running like 0.01 on my levels with like 103 on blood sugar this morning on 0.01.
Jeff, if you're around tomorrow, text me, message me, and you'll connect, and we'll try to talk a little bit off camera. That
I would say if your doctor doesn't want you under 40, I would get as close to 40 as I possibly could.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to stay right at 40. I mean, I'm not even close to 40 today. I think I'm around 20 today.
I'd love to hear the reasoning of why. What does 40 carbs do for a
medicine? She wanted me to stay at 50, and I begged her to let me go to 40.
But what's
they say you can have seizures on it and stuff. I was on Adipex, and I just went off Adipex like a month ago.
Give me a call.
And now I'm on Topamax. Okay, yeah, because I mean that's the only thing I'm stressed. That's what I'm saying. I text Mom, like, Mom, I'm struggling. I'm eating cheese. I'm eating everything I should be eating, but I can't get underneath this carb level.
I would tell you what I would do if it was me. Okay. But I'm bullheaded, and I take my health into my own hands, and nobody knows my body better than I do.
Right.
So I take a little bit of guidance, and it's not that I totally jump ship and don't listen to my doctor. So I don't hear me say that.
Nope.
All right.
But I prove it to myself. I take my Keto Mojo, and anything I question, if I am putting something in my body or doing anything, and I don't care what you're talking about. I had somebody ask about the Mediterranean diet. I had somebody ask, there's a million questions. Will this work for me? Can I have this? Check it. Check your numbers. If you are still waking up with the glucose over 100 in the morning, that's diabetic range. No, that's still too high. Whatever you're doing is too much for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out because I was down in the 90s, but now I'm up again. Okay. So there's something going on.
Whatever
somewhere.
You switch. So that's where logging in chronometer, checking your Keto Mojo, all those things will tell you what's working for your body. You got people out there that can live on a Mediterranean diet. Their numbers are great. They've never been metabolically broken. They're good. I'm not one of them. I look at a Mediterranean diet and gain weight. I mean, but my numbers prove it to me on how inflamed my body gets. You can see right now, just the medications I'm on. I've blown up like a blowfish, not because I'm eating god awful. It's just what I'm doing is not working for me and my chemistry. And I know that because I check it. You will too.
I think to give yourself ammunition, you're going to need to track. You're going to have to get very, pardon my French, anal about tracking, because
you can take that to your
with
doctor.
your circumstances that you have. I don't know all your circumstances, but you need to be able to bring up a list of, okay, I've done this and here are my numbers. I eat this and this. Here is my morning glucose. Here is
blood pressure. What's your blood pressure doing?
just start getting.
Last time I was a doctor, it was like 118/76, something like that.
So if you chart those things, you'll have those numbers to go in with the ammunition to talk to your doctor.
Right.
And you're going to prove it to yourself what works for you and what don't. But I'm telling you, if I wake up with a DBR of 150 every day, what I'm doing ain't working.
Yeah, I have the Mojo Keto because Mom got me one for Christmas, and I have my chronometer I use every day.
Good.
Okay.
You got a
I
good
have both those. And then I want to get 275 by spring because I want to be on my road bike.
Good.
I want to be on my road on a 10-speed bike for spring.
You will be able to do that by tracking your numbers. So text me tomorrow and we'll connect, and I'll make sure your Mojo and your chronometer and everything is connected.
Yeah, because I can't get the two connect. Me and Mom tried to figure it out. Mine will not connect with my phone. My Mojo Keto will not connect with my phone for some reason.
You can get into the help desk in the back end and email them. They have a great customer support.
Yeah,
their tech line is great.
Yeah, go ahead and do that if you need to. Don't be afraid to reach out to them.
But I mean, otherwise, yeah, I mean, I feel good. Like Mom said, I get that nervous earache. I'll text Mom like, Mom, I'm getting really anxious. She's like, that's your ketones kicking in. And then I don't have my Mojo test with me. I'm like, come on, where's my Mojo at?
Right.
And here's another circumstance that, Jeff, I think your consistency is going to be your key. You're gonna have to get a mindset of slow and steady and stick with a place and just wear it out until your body changes. And you get to a place where you can function and work and go and just stay there and work it and wait for your numbers to come around. Because you may have a circumstance where you have more healing to do than what you're seeing on the outside, what you're seeing your numbers. Just because your numbers aren't going super quick and where you want to go does not mean that you're not healing. You're putting building blocks in place in deep places in your body, and those numbers may come slower to you, but your consistency is going to get you where you're going to need to be. You know what I'm saying?
You'll get there.
Yeah.
You have to think of a long-term, this is going to be a long-term goal of where you want to be. And you need to set your sights on that and know that that's going to be a long road. And it's going to take me a little bit to get my numbers. You know, if it takes a little bit to get your numbers under 100, it's going to take as long as it's going to take. That's all you can. You're going to go different than I'm going to go. I'm going to go different than she's going to go. Everybody is totally different on this, but you have to find out what your body is doing. Know in your mind that you're doing the right thing.
And you have to know that in your heart. You have
I'm
to
just wondering,
trust and know.
Can you get into ketos without being above 20 carbs? I mean, is it possible?
Those of us that are metabolically broken, I couldn't. There ain't no way. And if you're metabolically unhealthy, it's a very much a hard struggle. So that's where, again, I would question, but I wouldn't give up on this is the difference of it. I wouldn't give up on doing it.
No, I'm not.
I would say, here's my numbers and here's why I'm continuing to do it. And maybe you won't need those certain medications down the road.
Good night. All right. No. Love you. Yeah, she's trying to take me off of it, but she didn't want to take me off. I love you. I told my wife, she didn't want to take me off the Adipex and my, the Topamax at the same time.
What are those?
That'd be too much.
What are those for?
Adipex was for cravings because I did get I sent Mom a picture. I got the BHBD today, a drink supplement that's supposed to boost them. Maybe I'm gonna try to use that in the morning. Start using that in the morning.
Use that for right now, and that's a tool, but that's not to be an everyday thing. I'd worry about getting your carbs down first. And, drink them and get them in circulation right now for the brain health. But what you're working on is that long-term brain health. You want to break those addictions and break those habits. And you're going to do that by narrowing that down.
What is the Topamax for? I'm like medically illiterate.
It's for seizure patients, but they found out that it actually helps with weight loss.
Okay.
So again, if you put everything in order and you start doing these things properly,
right,
those are a quick fix or putting a Band-Aid on a problem. Let's get
that's
to
what I don't
the
want.
problem. Let's get to the root of your problem. As soon as I'm diagnosed with anything, I don't care what it is. If I got any issue, and this is how I look at being diagnosed. So I go to a doctor. He's the smart one. She's the smart one, whatever. They give me a diagnosis of this. When I walk out that door, I dive in feet first, head first, everything with that diagnosis. They're going to get, I'm not saying, just like when I had breast cancer, I didn't look at my oncologist and say, oh my gosh, I'm not taking chemo. I took chemo. I did the mastectomy. I did the radiation. I did everything that doctor told me to do, but I jumped in to heal my body at every level that I can. When I have a heart attack, I didn't walk home and say, it's okay, no big deal. I'm a heart attack patient forever. No, I'm not. I am going to do the best I can do to heal my body. If I'm dealt with depression, anxiety, anything like that, you get to the root of the problem. Yeah, you might have to walk out and take a medication for right now, but you're working on your brain health. You're going to get through the anxiety and the depression or the cravings. You're going to get through those things because you're going to fix the problem, not because you're putting a medication that's stopping the feeling. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah, I told her I want off the Topomax. I don't want to be on it anymore.
So there you go. So do what you need to do to get off the Topamax. And if that means bring your inflammation down in your body, bring the carbs down, then move forward with that. And then take those numbers to your doctor and say, hey, I don't think I need this anymore.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring it down slowly.
But you got to get those carbs. I mean, okay, let me phrase it this way. If it was me, I would get those damn carbs down below 20 and get my body healthy. Because
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm like, because I did it today and I'm not really seeing any side effects. I don't feel any necessarily.
And there you go. So you're going to make your body do its job. Make your body do the work it can do. Now, if you needed help, like diabetics can't just cold turkey stop taking their diabetic medication. They have to listen in and check their numbers and slowly bring glucose down. And then they can, as the glucose comes down and that insulin starts working properly, then they can start getting off those medications, but they take it to their doctor and say, hey, I don't need this anymore, because they've tracked it and they know what they're doing. But they can, then you can have a conversation with your doctor. You know, now you can have the help. You don't have to come home and just.
It didn't take you 2 years to get into this position either.
You will get there.
So
and you got a good mom on your side that
take you a little bit out.
That's what you got to go by, and doing it as a family, the best win you can do.
She gets texts almost every time, and if she don't hear from me for like a couple of days, she's like, "I'm wondering what's going on with you."
Nice.
She's like, "I ain't heard from you for a few days. What's going on?"
I have adult kids. I feel the same way, so I love it. Good job. Every mama loves that. So, good job and welcome.
Hang in there,
Jeff. Thanks. I will.
Come on in, David.
Hey, perfect timing.
Yes.
Hi, David.
Welcome.
Hey, everybody. Nice to see everybody. My name's David, and let's see. I've got the Keto Mojo stuff, meaning the strips, the glucose strips and the ketone strips. And I guess for me, I don't have, in some ways, a big challenge with food choices. It's a little bit more like I'd like to move into some clarity about how much I eat and kind of like when I eat. So for me, I got up this morning. I'm getting back into like keto, I guess you could say. So for me, I got up this morning. I had 95 on the glucose thing, and I don't know, 1.0 or 0.8 or something on the ketone, and then I did infrared sauna for 40 minutes.
Nice.
And it's not an infrared sauna in which you're inside it, your head's out.
Okay.
And then I did cold shower, and then I did cold plunge for 4 minutes.
Nice.
And then I waited a couple hours. I ate at like noon. And then the main thing that comes up for me is there's a little bit of an intention to wait until like 7 or 7:30 or whatever to eat. But by the time like 4:30 came, I just really wanted food. And so, so I guess for me, there's the issues of like how long I fast for. So like say I'm done eating at 7:30 p.m. or let's just say 8 p.m. and then I eat again at like noon. Okay, it's a 16-hour fast. I would be satisfied with that. Then I guess one question is 2 meals or 3 meals during that other 8-hour period, during the 8-hour period. So that's one thing that I'm going to tune in on. And then the other thing is like, I just was hearing that point about 2 to 1 on fats to protein, and making mental note of that because yeah. So those are a couple of thoughts I have at the moment.
Okay, for your eating window, let me kind of back you up a little bit. What we would challenge you doing it drboz style, we're going to challenge you to back that eating window back up into daylight hours. Nobody should be eating at nighttime. So you're better off to eat during daylight hours. We're working on the circadian rhythm. We're setting all that, those struggles that go along as you move later into the nighttime. You're going to have a worse DBR ratio in the morning if you eat later into the night. So you're going to want to, just for health reasons, I would back that eating window up so that you're eating a little earlier. But eventually what we do with our course is we actually teach you to close that eating window. So we get that eating window down to 2 hours, 4 hours, and some of us actually function pretty well on 23-and-1. He can do 23-and-1. I do about 23 or 22-and-2. But that's after our chemistry is stable. I would question if your fat-based hormones are all happy and working before we would push you that far. But if you're feeling that hungry at night, we would probably want to check some fat macros, your protein to fat ratio, those kind of things. So I would just clean up a little bit. But it sounds like you're on the right path. You've got all the tools in place. You know, the infrared, the cold plunge, all those things are awesome. And those are all stressors.
Do an experiment. If you're tracking your numbers in your morning numbers like that, move when you eat back into the daylight hours and track your numbers and see what they do. You know, prove it to yourself. And with when I said the 2-to-1 ratio from your proteins to your fats, that is assuming that you are running on fat for your energy source.
Are you fat adapted yet?
Yeah, you're fat adapted. Once you're fat adapted, that's where you can really play with that 2-to-1. And actually at one point I was 3-to-1 ratio, my fat to protein. So, but that was when I was really seriously into ketosis. I mean, I was deep into ketosis. But just prove it to yourself. And I do agree that you should be done eating by, I would say 6 the latest.
6 is a late night of eating for us.
If you could,
how do you like the thing that comes up for me is sort of like headaches,
headaches.
That's usually minerals. That's usually you're not getting enough minerals in you. If you're peeing out all that inflammation.
Where's that?
Down behind you.
Right here.
Redmond salt is awesome. LMNTs are awesome. Usually if you just more minerals and more water, you know, you're usually dehydrated or need enough minerals.
If you're starting to get headaches or cramping or something like that, muscle cramps, something like that, that means you are not getting enough minerals because you're taking out the inflammation out of your body by doing what you're doing. You need to replace minerals.
I have salt rocks laying here
to keep that balance.
We're getting a headache or cramping or anything like that.
All right, so I'll try out the minerals and water. So what you're saying is, if I've got a headache and I'm craving a snack, try minerals and water.
Yep, salt. Try some salt water. Exactly.
Yeah, because we totally
I mean the real salt and water. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, or lick it and put it on your tongue. You can put it straight
especially doing the stresses that you're talking about doing, your infrared sauna, your cold plunge, you're stressing your body.
You're sweating.
You're sweating. You're taking out inflammation. When that inflammation comes out of your body, you're taking minerals with it. You're actually dehydrating yourself. So you need to rehydrate in a quicker fashion. And that's what this does. You can't do it just by water alone. You can't do it with like Gatorade. That don't work either. you need the minerals that you're releasing.
And
You know what I'm saying?
and the salt doesn't break the fast. It doesn't mess. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Salt is good.
I have in this, I have a 40-ounce water, whatever you want to call it, water thermos and I take to work every day. I take 2 tablespoons of salt in that 4 teaspoons.
Yeah.
Okay. Teaspoons. I'm sorry. 2 teaspoons of this salt in that 40 ounces of water. And that's what I use. Plus
and then he fills it up at lunchtime again.
Then I put salt in my coffee. I put a teaspoon of salt in my coffee. So I'm getting plenty of minerals.
I'm like Sue.
Because I run so much. I mean, I do, I hit all my goals every day. My 12 hours standing, my 30 minutes of exercise, plus my 900 calories burned. I hit that every day, and I exceed 10,000 steps every day. So I am running.
David, it just sounds like with you, we got to sit down with you and just clean everything up. We got to tighten up that window. We're going to check and see what your fat to protein ratio is, all that. We'll do all that in class for you. So don't stress over that. We'll get that. That's exactly what cleaning all that up means. Get the noise taken care of, and then we'll get you tightened up. You'll probably take off like he does.
And just by moving your window back in the day, just do that one thing and see how it changes. When we're talking about all these changes, just do one at a time.
Yep.
And see how your body reacts. And I would add the minerals to it, because you don't want to get dehydrated, because that sucks.
Yeah. Yep. Good job, David. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you. But let me know, and we'll get you going in class whenever you're ready.
Maybe one more quick question. What's say I got my window down to like eating at noon and eating at like 6. What is the difference between eating at noon and eating at 6 versus eating at noon, eating at 3, and eating at 6?
You're spiking that insulin and glucose one more time.
Yep.
First of all, you're opening up that eating window, so you're less hours fasted. The goal is to quit raising insulin so many times a day. So every time something goes in your mouth, you're raising glucose. We're trying to stop that insulin and that glucose fire. That's why we don't snack.
Glucose is the fire that shoots up, insulin puts it out, and it comes back down. And then the more you do that,
that's why the snacking is
horrible. Hard on your body.
It's awful. Eat till you're full, zip it.
Quit.
Eat till you're full, zip it. No snacking, no munching, no nothing like that. Is just cleaning that up will make huge effects in your numbers. But still most people, as you move down on this, unless you're metabolically healthy and not having any issues, if you're working on metabolic health and wanting to progress in it, most people have to get down to at most a 4 to 6 hour window. Most of the time, a 2 to 4 hour window.
And that's
daily.
2 to 4 hours is when you eat, within the 2 to 4 hours.
So all calories go in those 2 hours.
I'm not saying that you eat at 2 and at 4. Between that you eat, and you find out, and you make sure you're full between those hours.
But that's making sure your fat-based hormones are all working first. All those things have to be taken care of and cleared up before you move to that level.
Oh my goodness.
So you could eat as much as you want during 4-hour window.
Well, within your chronometer.
Within your chronometer, within your macros of your chronometer.
Yes.
You want to make sure you're hitting those, and especially the fat more than the protein.
Especially at the beginning. You got to get that fat working at the beginning. Then you can tweak things and play later down the road, but you really got to work on getting that stable at the beginning first.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And you'll see with you guys, when I don't know where your tendency to gain your weight, but it's the same thing with us girls. It's just harder for our hormones. But with you guys, I'm telling you, if you get the little bit of belly, when you get those numbers right, that will just go away on you guys. I mean, I love to watch how men just thin out. I mean, he just thins out like no man's. I mean, it's just crazy. It's so awesome to watch. But cleaning up that eating window, tightening it up, and moving it more into the daylight hours is going to be a huge win for you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Welcome aboard. I'm happy to have you. Come on in, Hannah. Come and check in. There you go.
Hello, Hannah.
Oh, welcome.
Hi. I guess I've done keto before, but just recently I'm working on this blood sugar thing. I'm what's known as a skinny fat. I have a 37% body fat, but I'm only 130 pounds.
Yep.
So, and those are accurate numbers. Those are scans. That's not a calculation. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm wearing a continuous monitor. Plus I do my sticks. I've calculated my macros years, probably 15 years. So I know where my weaknesses are. But since I had COVID a year ago, what my sugar does is, no matter what my eating window is at 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, it starts going up, and it doesn't quick stop. Well, if I work out in the morning, then it'll drop just maybe 5 down, and then it goes back up until I eat. And then it starts dropping, and it drops clear till about 2 a.m. And then it starts going way back up. And I'm trying to figure out, why is that?
Okay, so what that comes down to, that's insulin resistance. So,
right.
So what that comes down to is you did not get this way. It doesn't matter how skinny you are. We all have that one friend that is so skinny, eats anything they want, and they think they're healthy because they're skinny.
No.
Just because you're skinny does not mean you're healthy. And that morning glucose is key to everything. And I really stick on that. So you need to, just because you're skinny and you're blessed with some skinniness, that's awesome. That is great, but that does not make you metabolically healthy. So you're going to follow the same protocol, just like the rest of us. You're going to act like you're carrying 40 pounds on your butt that you want to burn off, but being skinny doesn't give you the right to jump ship. Because I bet you if we tracked your numbers, your Keto Mojo, your CGM, whatever you're using, you're as metabolically broken as the rest of us. And you still got to work the program just the same. You get your numbers down, you get that eating window cleaned up, you get it back in daylight hours, you do all the same things.
That's all clean. I don't have that issue.
Good.
I'm meticulous about all of that. But so that's not it. That's what I'm trying to figure out is.
Okay, so my next step, I would go into the quality of the food you're consuming. Are you high density nutrition?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I buy the best.
How's your sleep?
Yeah. Well, no stress. No, stress could be it.
Okay. Stress and sleep are huge.
Because I work 24/7. I live with my clients, so I'm always working, you know. I mean, I get to sleep, but I'm working.
Okay. Well, having good sleep and consistently good sleep with no interruptions. You want 7 to 8 hours of good sleep without an interruption. And I mean, an interruption counts if you get up to go pee, if the blanket's too hot, too cold. Every time you wake up, you take an hour off of that total of hours sleep.
Yes.
So every time you take an hour off of that, then you're not getting enough sleep. So I would work on your stress and your sleep and make sure, but staying consistent just in the program, just like you were overweight, you still watch your macros, you watch your food. Just because you're skinny doesn't mean your cells are.
I realize that. I don't have any problem. I'm not working on my weight. I'm working on my blood sugar.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What's your eating window?
My A1C went from the last deal. I went from being insulin resistant to pre-diabetic. Okay, I know where that was going. It's like, okay, hello. We got to figure out. We got to figure this out because I'm not going there. I was on insulin shots, and
What's your average carbs a day run?
My carbs are 15. I never go over 15. Okay. If I go over 15, I know where I'm headed.
I will challenge you a little bit. I have to have 10 be my cutoff. That's why we pretty much end up carnivore. If you're struggling at 15 and your numbers are still not good, back it up a little bit.
What's your eating window?
My eating window is 11 to 3.
Okay.
And I could tighten that up a little bit work. Sometimes I have to flex a little bit because, I'm fixing 3 meals a day for clients. So,
Right.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you got a lot of things going. I would just stay consistent. I would keep doing it.
I would get as clean and tight as I could and then stay consistent at it. I mean, I
started doing sauna every other night. That's what I do. To y'all, I was like,
you got this.
One meal a day, and
doing it 1 meal a day. Tighten that eating window up. Get those carbs.
Yeah, The funny thing, this is like from being super cutting the window down, being super strict. This is like started week 4. Okay. The second week I went into ketones. I'm like, oh, cool. I got this. And then I'm doing the exact same thing. And then I can't get back there. I'm not.
Just stay there and be consistent at it.
Yep.
Because the first, like the first time we went through our 72-hour fast, our 8-week in a row, 72-hour fast, we went through them probably four times in a row to get to where our numbers were rocking. It took us four series of 8 weeks of 72-hour fasts back to back.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better. I just feel like I'm like, okay, I can get these numbers.
That's what people say. I've been doing it for 6 weeks and nothing's happened. I'm like, we've been doing this for almost 6 years.
I mean, obviously I came down, I'm not like, I'm hovering at 100, my average, So, okay, that's better than I was. I get that. But
progress.
Then I closed down that window. I was expecting to see some improvement. And then now
you wait.
And then I got my continuous monitor and I seen that 3 o'clock and then just go like this. I was like, what the heck's happening there? I'm not even doing anything.
You'll get there, clean it up, clean those little steps up.
Just make it as tight as possible and then stay there. Because it may take you 6-8 weeks of being at that tight spot to break through where you're at. Or it might take longer, or it might take shorter. I don't know. But you have to get to a place of tight consistency and see what it does.
That's what I need to do. I guess that's my thing is, okay, am I missing a component?
Nope, keep
just
going.
Clean it up and just crunch it up tighter in the ball.
And get going.
Got it. Thank you.
Good job, Hannah. Nice work and welcome.
Hang in there.
Come on in, Jay. You're going to come in and say hi and tell us a little bit about you. Any questions?
Did we blow your mind tonight?
I was going to say, we've been rambling for a while.
Yeah, we have.
Jay, do you want to check in? Is Jay left the building, maybe?
I think so.
All right. Any questions over there?
Nope.
Okay, just to finish off real quick, we do another thing, KetoCon. Hack Your Health by KetoCon is going to be on May 31st. My code JTK50 will save you $50 off a ticket. We hope to see all of you down there. That's for KetoCon. That's the end of May. It'll be over on our website here within this weekend. And what else? drboz 21-day course if you're ready to jump in and go fast. And if you're ready to go nice and slow, come on in and go nice and slow with us. I'm getting ready to start a beginner and an advanced class. So, Jay, good to see you, hon. Welcome. If you need to check in, she said your mute's not working. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but either way, welcome. And we will catch you next time. Go over in the group. If you have any questions, just write them over there and I will check in on you and see how you're doing. But anybody needs anything, journeytoketo.com. Text us over in the group. Keep the questions coming over there. That was great today. So we appreciate